Welcome to the Deep Dive Books channel, where we hope you find something valuable every day.
Let's continue discussing Dan Ariely's Misbelief. This is part 4 of our interpretation. Previously, we mentioned that under stress, people are more likely to believe in conspiracy theories. Certain cognitive biases make us more prone to believing in falsehoods. These are common phenomena that everyone, from ordinary people to scientists, can fall into. But on the other hand, there are differences among people. Some individuals are more prone to misbelief than others. After all, fewer scientists believe in conspiracy theories. We must acknowledge that people can be categorized into different personality types. Personality is complex and situational. An extrovert can act introverted at times, and a stingy person can sometimes be generous. However, there are still some fixed patterns. A person's specific reactions are the result of their personality and the context. You can't blame everything on the situation. Ariely's research aims to understand the personalities of those particularly prone to conspiracy theories, especially the fervent believers who attack doctors and scientists. In Chinese, we might call these people obsessed. Let's refer to them as obsessive personalities. This research is both easy and difficult. It's easy because you can compare obsessive people and normal people using the same psychological tests. It's difficult because obsessive people are uncooperative in studies. Ariely interacted with several obsessive people. Once he revealed his purpose and intent to test their psychology, they became defensive. They were upset, asking if he intended to mock them. This reminds me of a movie where a character says he has a part-time job at a psychiatric hospital doing research work. When asked what kind of research, he says, being researched. So, obsessive people are aware they aren't mainstream. Ariely had to spend considerable effort and money to recruit about 20 obsessive individuals for his study. This sample size is very small. Fortunately, other researchers have done a lot of work too. Ariely compiled all the research, resulting in solid findings. Now we have a clearer picture of what obsessive individuals are generally like. If you plan to start a secret organization or a cult to uncover conspiracies, the personality traits discussed here would be your user profile. Let's start with one of the most interesting cases, which provided the most subjects. Imagine waking up suddenly, in the middle of the night. You feel fully conscious, but completely unable to move. Breathing is difficult, and it feels like something heavy is pressing on your chest. There's a tingling sensation, like electric currents running through your body. You see flashes on the furniture, and the room is filled with a buzzing noise. You feel like you're floating. Most frighteningly, strange humanoid figures are watching you from beside the bed. In China, we call this ghost pressing, perhaps influenced by stories like Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio. In the US, influenced by sci-fi movies, people might interpret it as alien abduction. The experiences are similar. Aliens visit, abduct the person to a spaceship for experiments, and then return them. I read many alien abduction stories as a child. After reading Ariely's book, I realized it's similar to ghost pressing. Scientifically, this is called sleep paralysis. When we dream, sometimes we dream of moving around or doing various actions. The brain sends real movement commands, but the body doesn't act them out to prevent trouble. To ensure the body stays still while dreaming, there's a mechanism that paralyzes the body during sleep. Sometimes this mechanism fails slightly, like kicking, while dreaming of playing soccer. Usually, it's not a big problem. But sometimes the paralysis works too well, and you wake up while still paralyzed, feeling unable to move. This is sleep paralysis. It's a normal physiological phenomenon. About 8% of people have experienced sleep paralysis. Common symptoms include tingling sensations, floating feelings, buzzing sounds, flashes, and hallucinations. But most people don't interpret it as alien abduction. So, what kind of people are more likely to interpret sleep paralysis as alien abduction? This brings us to the study subjects and control group. Research shows that those who claim to have been abducted by aliens have 3 characteristics. The first is they are somewhat superstitious. They believe in supernatural causality, such as feeling someone thinking of them, believing in astrology, suspecting someone tampered with their things while they were away, believing they can harm others with their thoughts, bringing bad luck to someone they dislike, feeling an evil presence around, and performing rituals to ward it off. The most interesting trait is that these people deliberately avoid stepping on the cracks between the tiles when walking on the sidewalk. Check yourself against these traits. These are harmless superstitions. The second characteristic is poor memory. Scientists invited them to the lab for memory tests, showing them a list of words and asking them to recall as many as possible. They looked for two types of errors. One type was recalling words not on the list. The other was identifying new words as being on the list. The abduction group made twice as many errors in the first type and 50% more in the second type, compared to the control group. Simply put, these people are more likely to remember things that never happened. The third characteristic is narcissism. Narcissists crave attention, exaggerate their abilities, and fantasize about success. They lack empathy and manipulate others for their gain. Mild narcissism is no big deal. It just means having a high self-regard. Such people might be truly intelligent, and sometimes act generously for appearances. But pathological narcissism involves needing to be the center of attention. If a significant event happens, they feel neglected if not recognized. Consider someone who is superstitious, has poor memory, tends to create false memories, craves attention, and lacks critical thinking skills. Under stress, they might experience sleep paralysis and interpret it as an alien abduction. Their accounts may include subjective fabrication or genuine hallucinations. Regardless, someone as important as they are deserves an alien abduction experience, right? These studies on alien abductees reveal common traits among all obsessive people. The most common is their ability to find patterns where none exist. This is broadly known as superstition. For example, someone might claim to find patterns in lottery numbers, even though they are random. Researchers give them a random sequence of coin flips, and they find deep meaning. Show them a random dot matrix, and they see a face. Michael Shermer, a skeptic and podcast host, coined the term patternicity to describe this trait. Studies show that people with strong pattern recognition tendencies are more likely to believe in conspiracy theories. Sometimes, pattern recognition is beneficial. It allows people to perceive subtle clues and predict trends. For example, Ariely's great-grandmother was originally Russian. After the October Revolution, she felt that it was no longer safe to stay, so she immediately forced her husband to move to Germany with her. A few years after arriving in Germany, Hitler rose to power, and again, she had a premonition that things were going wrong, and they needed to flee quickly, saving the lives of her Jewish family. Scientific research requires spotting new patterns. In this sense, both amateur and professional scientists notice patterns others overlook. This is intuition. The difference is scientists have rigorous scientific training, judgment, and methods to determine if a pattern is real. Amateur scientists are captivated by their discoveries. Studies indicate that, under stress, people are more likely to see patterns, especially when they feel out of control. For example, before jumping out of an airplane, skydivers at the height of tension are more likely to see faces in random dot patterns. Recognizing patterns provides a sense of control. It's human nature. When I feel the world is in chaos, I also look for new prophecies or the prophecies of pushback. I know they're unreliable, but seek comfort. Obsessive people have more severe cognitive flaws than the average person. They are overly confident and lack intellectual humility. They trust their intuition more. For example, solving a math problem. A bat and ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Many say 10 cents, but the correct answer is $0.05. Scientists verify their answers. Obsessive people impulsively respond. They don't scrutinize their conclusions. They also make poor decisions, and are more prone to decision-making biases. In summary, obsessive people are intuitive, poor at logical thinking, have weak memories, see patterns where there are none, are superstitious, and narcissistic. They deeply believe the world is problematic. They think the elites are plotting something evil, and they must save the world. After all, they understand the truth best. At this point, conspiracy theories seem trivial. Such individuals, even if not into conspiracies, might pursue other projects, potentially disrupting their family's normal life. It's a sad state. You might be surprised, but someone might ask, what if those alien abductions are real? How can you be sure, if you haven't experienced it? If you still believe in alien abductions after hearing this, you should reflect. Look at who claims to be abducted. Why don't aliens abduct intelligent people? Wouldn't it be more worthwhile to study scientists? Instead, they choose a group of less intelligent, overly dramatic individuals, mostly Americans. That's all for today. In the next part, we'll discuss feelings of exclusion.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.